Every time this Dimitri Kyres guy, he texts the show, I say, don't feel the need to mute me on your end. I have a mute button on mine. I can mute myself. This guy mutes me. He's trying to make a damn fool out of me on my own show. This Dimitri Kyres guy, doesn't he have enough? He's got 2 parents, a lovely home, a big apartment, a special person, a full-time job. He's got to come on the show. And granted, he donates his time. Sure, I buy him a coffee here and there, lunch once or twice a year. And he thinks, you know what? I could use a little more. I want to stick it to this James guy. I tell him, Dimitri, you don't have to mute me. I'm pulling back the curtain. We do the show on Zoom. He texts the show. He is the technical director tonight, where he has the power to mute everyone so there isn't all this background noise. I say, don't mute me. I've got a mute button on my microphone. He says, I got it, Chief. Hey, Captain, I'm there for you. Hey, Chico, I got it. And he still mutes me. But if he hadn't muted me, we wouldn't have had this fantastic intro on this October 25th, 2021. I am James. You are you. We are here for Halloween on At Home with James. It feels like it's been a real Hallow month, which doesn't sound as good as Halloween. It has been episode after episode after episode of what? Of me forcing and feigning an interest in Halloween. And God knows I tried. The Lord above knows that I tried, or should I say Satan down below. This is me trying to get into the Halloween spirit. You see this? I bought myself a pumpkin. I didn't carve this thing. Plastic, illuminated pumpkin from Canadian Tire. $17. I got on sale for $14. I thought, I'm going to do my best. I watched a couple Halloween movies. I still feel empty and cold inside. This past weekend, I watched a few episodes of the movies that made us on Netflix, thinking, you know what? I'm gonna look into Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I still feel nothing, but I'm going to try my damnedest over tonight's episode and Friday's episode to really get into the spirit. Allow Halloween to fill my heart. I'm going to try tonight. It is segment after segment after segment of spooky content. And I promise I'm never going to talk like that ever again. Not only on this show, but in life. Who's here later on? Dimitri Kyres is here. He is a bit of a film buff, as well as a muting me before I do my intro buff. He has unearthed some, I don't know if you want to call them B-level, C-level, D-level Halloween films that I have never heard of. And it's going to be, in some ways, to inspire you, the audience, to dig deep and find some scary film that you can enjoy over this upcoming Halloween. We've also got Saima Ahmed. And she is back to talk to us about the ways in which, as an adult, you can have a Halloween party. But we're going to kick things off in high gear. It has been roughly 365 days since this person last appeared on this show. He is a Halloween expert. He loves it all. He's a writer. He's a trick-or-treater. He gives out full-size candy bars. He's also an employee of the Canadian government. In addition to that, he runs one of the most successful wrestling companies in Canada, which I would like to take 90% credit for. I might be one of the most important characters that has ever graced this man's promotion. Let's welcome, coming to us all the way from, I don't know if this guy lives in Ottawa or Gatineau or Hull. We know that he's coming to us from the Outaouais region. It is my friend and yours, Mark Pollesel. Mark, how's it going? Welcome back to the show after 1 year.
Good to see you, James. It's been a long year without you.
You hear this song?
I do. Tubular Bells.
So again, you are an expert. You know the name of this track. I would never have guessed. Was this from The Exorcist?
Yeah, I mean, The Exorcist, the film used this. They had a different score recorded that was thrown out when they first heard it, and then they went and used this pre-existing track by Mike Odenfeld, which is a crazy, very long track. And if you go into the backstory of this song, he's done it. It was all done no digital, anything like that. All cut, splices on tape, just by himself, and it's neat. It's weird. Anyways, not expert, enthusiast.
Coming in from the chat right now, Jay Voorhees writes, nerd.
Oh, I'm glad I have to deal with Jason watching me.
Now you say not an expert, but an enthusiast. Can you differentiate what would make an expert and an enthusiast? Because that diatribe that you just rambled about really feels like expertise. It feels like expertise.
Oh, I know a little about a lot of things in the world of genre. I wouldn't want to call myself an expert because there are people who know far more than me.
Okay, but I would say that you're an expert, so we can agree to disagree.
Okay,
you can be humble about it, and I'm going to be extravagant about it. Now, Mark, you love Halloween. You love everything that's spooky. You love everything that's scary. Can I tell you something that I think is scary?
What is that, James?
I think that it's scary how much money I've made your wrestling promotion over the decade that I worked for you due to my super abilities and talent.
That's not scary. That's common knowledge, and I will freely admit that that you were one of the foundational blocks. You were in the very first match of C4's history. You were in the final
Mark,
match.
take this opportunity. I want you to do a little plug for your wrestling outfit out there in Ottawa. Do a little plug for people who don't know.
Yeah, at this time last year, I was once upon a time a wrestling promoter, and now we're back at it. We started back up in September, 50% capacity, and it didn't become a super spreader event, so I felt pretty good. We're back in November 12th, for which is our 14th anniversary. I mean,
and I won't be there.
You never know who will be there, but you'll be back at some point. But I also, creatively how we both feel about it.
Yeah, this is true. Now, Mark, before we really get into it, I want to challenge you. I want you to say 3 really nice things about my performances in your company over the decade that I worked there.
There's a lot of, just like naming 3 things. It's difficult. I remember when there was that brief flirtation with a C4 reality show. You remember that? And they had that camera crew come and from a well-known production company come and shoot stuff. And I remember them interviewing me and they asked me about Twiggy, and I'm like, he's my Walter White. And I was like using a Breaking Bad reference. And to be fair, in the 10 years you were there, the arc of the characters, something I'm very proud of, and you did a phenomenal job with. And it's one of the most unique character. I feel it's one of the few character stories we told in 10 years, and it's something I know you're proud of and I'm proud of, and I thought it ended on such a perfect note that it's hard to revisit it. It's just, you were the first match in that Nights at Columbus Hall in 2007. You were in the final match in 2018. You came in 2007 as this beloved underdog character. You left in 2018 as one of the most despised characters we ever had.
Yes, someone that you were worried was going to start a riot.
I mean, when a fan threw something at you and you decided to halt the show until security kicked them out, I was not expecting that. I had other things I was dealing with. But the show continued, and I'm glad we were able to address it. And
I feel like those are three nice things, Mark. I had our tech tonight, Dimitri. He had his finger on the dump button. I was going to give him a cue. I was going to salute, and then he was going to dump you, but you've achieved it. Now, Mark, we're not here to talk about me, although I do appreciate you answering the question that I forced you to answer. Now,
no problem.
I tasked you with something going into tonight's show. You sent me a text saying, should I prepare anything? I said, that's a great question. I thought about it before I answered hours later. I told you that I want you to come up with the do's and don'ts of Halloween. Now, last year, we really profiled your obsession with what some call the season of the witch. Yeah, drink up, Mark. Now, we're curious to know what the do's and don'ts of Halloween are.
I just need some caffeine. Whoa, sorry. So just do's and don'ts. Okay. Should I go with do's first or don'ts first?
How about this? How about we go back and forth?
I guess we can do that. All right. Well, the first one out Do give out candy to trick-or-treaters, regardless of age or costume quality.
Okay, now you're telling me that there are people that don't give out candy based on the children's quality of costume?
Well, it's more so age or lack of costume attempt.
Okay. Well, so
And
is
just
there
because a 6 foot tall 16-year-old comes to your door trick-or-treating doesn't mean you need to make a comment about them.
Okay, but don't you think 16's a little old?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being 16 when you're trick-or-treating.
Mark, are you admitting that you were trick-or-treating at 16?
I haven't locked it down if that was my last year or if it was 17. One of those ages.
So it's either bad or worse. All right. Now, what if you live in an apartment complex?
If the building offers trick-or-treating,
Okay.
then you should give out candy to those kids.
Okay. Now,
Or
on the subject of treats, how do you feel about giving out change, apples, and peanuts?
But peanuts, I think, in this climate is a big no-no because you'll probably kill a kid.
Sure. Right.
Change, I mean, if it's like toonies, sure.
Yeah, that would rule.
Apples, I think I got a loony once and that was huge.
Yeah.
Fruits, I don't know. That's expensive to give out that much fruit.
Okay. So
And no
there
one
we
wants
go.
an apple.
We've got your first do. It's give out candy to trick-or-treaters despite costume quality, height, and age.
Yes.
What's one of your don'ts?
Don't be a Halloween Scrooge, if I may borrow a Christmas word.
Okay.
Sorry to
Now
tread on
I
your-
feel this one feels pointed, but go on.
No, you've got that pumpkin and I appreciate that. That's on one of my other do's. So don't hide in your house and pretend not to be home. Keep the lights on. Don't ignore Halloween. You're not fooling anybody.
Okay. So the houses that make it very explicitly clear, don't come here.
Yeah. Turn the light on. Come on.
What if there was maybe an elderly person in there who is not doing well health-wise?
There are exceptions to the rule.
Well, you didn't give any exceptions, so I just want to be clear.
You've got me, James.
Okay. So that's one of the don'ts.
Elderly, heartbroken widows and
wait, you're adding widows?
Disabled people. Widows are disabled. That's the only way. If they're alone, suffering from some ailment,
yeah,
that's acceptable. But maybe they have a loved one in their life who could come on Halloween and spread the joy of the season with them and put a jack-o'-lantern out in front of their house and remind them of their youth and hand out some candies for that person.
Okay,
so a good deed. If you're living in an apartment building that doesn't allow it, you go over to your grandma's house, who she normally turn off that light, and you hand out candy for her.
So you basically force your grandmother to celebrate Halloween and not be a Halloween Scrooge.
Yeah, sure. If your grandmother is in the, I mean, she could
in the twilight years.
Yes.
All right. So let's go back to another do.
Carve a jack-o'-lantern, or I mean, buy a plastic one.
Yep.
At least one. And my carving tip of the year, I believe I said this last year. Make sure when you're hollowing it out, cut from the bottom, not the top around the stem. Cut the bottom, gut it, and then you can just put it on top of a light or candle.
Now, why the bottom? Are you looking to keep the integrity of the stem?
Well, I mean, sure, but you also don't have to worry about the top falling down.
Well, hold on now. How do you get the candle in there? Do you put the candle and then lower it down?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's
Exactly.
very interesting. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to carve one, but I've never thought about that.
No.
All right. Well, there's the answer to that question. Wouldn't no.
Plan accordingly in terms of the height of your candle and pumpkin, and I think you'll be okay. It would be
what about the people? Again, a lot of times little kids, they paint the pumpkin. Do you like that? I don't.
I don't either.
It sucks.
I'm discouraging my children from the idea of painting a pumpkin. I think it's wasting a perfectly good pumpkin.
Okay, but what about the pumpkins that are kind of stacked in a decorative way, so it's very Halloween-like, but also fall-like, a series of gourds, if you will? It feels like it's going to be a no for you, dog.
I don't know. There should be a jack-o'-lantern in the mix nearby. You can't don't just put out some seasonal gourds and pumpkins. You got to have at least one face on there.
So you're saying that the pumpkin should be converted to a jack-o'-lantern, not just a pumpkin.
That fulfills the pumpkin's purpose in life and its destiny.
All right, so that's a do. What's a don't?
Let me scroll down on my.
Oh, let me ask you this. We've got a question coming in from the chat. I've never been more excited.
Dear Lord.
Someone's asking, add cinnamon to the inside of the lid so it has a nice aroma when burning.
That's a brilliant idea, and
all right, so that's a do. That's a do.
That's a do. It's not my do, but it's this kind person in the chat who's brought this idea up. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was. Don't
no,
blow your
Mark, we're both excited here. We haven't talked to each other in a long
it's
time.
Halloween. I appreciate.
I try to call you on the phone, you don't answer. So look, we're both excited. Mark, take it away. What's your next don't?
Don't blow out your jack-o'-lantern. If you don't feel like staying up, leave some candy out on your doorstep for any latecomers. Let the candle burn out on its own, or let the batteries die on the light inside.
Now that's interesting. This is very giving, right? But what about people who are
saying
that's
the spirit of the season, giving?
What if someone were to say, I'm mostly concerned from a fire hazard standpoint?
It's a candle in a pumpkin outside. You'll be fine.
Okay, so that's a don't. Don't blow out your jack-o'-lantern. So we've had back-to-back jack-o'-lantern based do's and don'ts.
There are quite a few pumpkin-related topics on this list.
Look, I don't like it. I love it.
That's all we got, man. For
this whole Halloween thing, you just got pumpkin stuff. It's not like watch a scary movie.
Oh, no, well, hey.
Okay, I won't get ahead of myself here. I'm getting feisty.
We're on do's, right? Or we don't do? Decorate.
Mm-hmm.
You've done this. Whatever is within your means to spook up your life. No need for giant animatronics or inflatables. Go to Dollarama, buy some fake spider webs, go to town. People don't question putting up a giant tree in their living room at Christmas. Just do something for Halloween. And you've done
now,
it.
Are you decorating the inside of your house too?
A few home decor items, not a lot this year because my 2-year-old's a maniac and will destroy things that are within reach.
Now, can I ask you, how do you feel about the inflatable yard displays? Are you for or against?
If the inflatable fits in with the decor of the rest of the yard with the jack-o'-lanterns or something, not just stick 20 inflatables outside and happy Halloween. I mean,
I don't know, it sounds kind of like a fun yard.
It definitely is. And I wouldn't criticize that person.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what about those kind of more ghoulish displays of like people getting electrocuted in electric chairs and severed hands and legs and things like that?
Feel free.
Okay. All right. So that's do. You do want to decorate. What don't you want to do?
What don't we want to do? Let me scroll down on my list. This is going back to my turn away trick-or-treaters, especially if they look too old. That's really affected me in life. Sorry. That's the same point.
You have two things. So on the do list, you say
in this 40 minutes I had to prepare my list. I'm sorry I doubled up.
So you basically had you doubled up. You said do give out candy to all trick-or-treaters. Don't
discriminate against trick-or-treaters.
Trick-or-treaters can't. Okay, so
it's a very important point, and you got to hit it from both sides.
All right.
Take the positive approach and the negative.
Okay, well, that makes sense, right? Let's go back to the do's.
I'm sorry, this list is not the greatest.
Mark, hold on, Mark. I feel like you're losing confidence here.
I only got 5.
Mark, I want you to look at me. Before we got on the air, you said, I hope it isn't lame. I said, if it's lame, you wouldn't be on the show. Come on, Mark, believe in yourself. I want you to light that jack-o'-lantern's candle that's inside of you right now and get a little shiny.
Okay. Do something seasonally spooky in an effort to capture the magic of the season.
Such as?
Will vary from person to person, but try and immerse yourself in the magic of the season. At least once, whether it's a haunted attraction, ghost walk, scary movie.
Maybe watch this show.
Yes.
Now, coming in from the chat right now, this one says, quote, man, if some 37-year-old dude shows up to my house dressed like Sailor Moon, he ain't getting any candy from me. This one's again from Jay Voorhees.
Well, Jason and I need to disagree on that. I think if
you're giving out candy to 40-year-olds,
if the guy made the effort to come to my door and say trick or treat in a Sailor Moon costume,
I'll tell you what, that guy's gonna be in your living room an hour later. You're gonna break in looking for more candy.
If someone wants candy that badly that they're going to my door to ask for it, I will oblige.
That's very nice of you.
It's really not that difficult. It's really, it's this, as I've said, it's the spirit of the season that's giving.
Okay. So it sounds like we're going back to the don't list now.
Let's see. Maybe I said, don't not watch scary movies. Okay.
Not watch.
No, I'm joking.
You
I'm
could have
joking.
just said, do watch scary movies.
That was the joke. Okay, this is my last don't. I guess I only have 4
Okay.
don'ts.
Look, this is
Don't
great.
don't be a Halloween asshole. Don't
What's
use
the difference between that one and the Halloween Scrooge?
Well, wait. Don't use the holiday or season to be an obnoxious jerk. Don't act like you're better than those enjoying the season. Don't be that drunk asshole on the haunted hayride. Don't Snapchat your way through a haunted house, and don't steal candy or be greedy.
Okay, so this is mostly, be kind to each other.
Yes.
Be kind to each other. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, I agree with you. I'm not a big believer in raining on anyone's parade. I might come off a little crotchety, like an old codger, but I'm not into ruining anyone's fun.
And that's why I love you.
Well, I appreciate it. I love you too, Mark. Now, how many more do's do you have?
I have one last do.
Okay.
I guess this is something that's been already said about not being a Scrooge, and it's along those lines.
Yep.
Give out candy, go all out with it, become that house of legend, and give out full-size bars.
Become the house of legends.
Yes. To children, a full-size bar blows their minds. They're 82 cents at Dollarama.
Okay, so Mark, can I ask you as we begin to wind down, what's your candy budget this year?
I usually probably go like 100, 125.
This man spends $125 on full-size candy bars to become a legend to children.
How much do you spend on Christmas gifts?
Right. Well, Mark, look, we've done it again. We've done it again. You're getting a lot of support in the chat. We've got, quote, I'm with Mark, and I stand with Mark. Also, we've got praise this man, and coming in about me, quote, very crotchety. But here's the thing,
I
Mark.
I don't agree that you're not very crotchety.
Okay, we're going to end this with you saying one more nice thing about me.
Okay. Tell me what to say, and you got it.
No, I can't tell you what to say.
Your inspiration, the way you've marched through this pandemic and continued bringing smiles to people's faces for the last 18 months on a near nightly basis at home with James.
Mark, you are truly a legend for saying that. And I don't need any of your candy to confirm that because I'm 34 years old.
But at my wedding, you got candy.
Yeah, I helped myself to your candy table. Mark, look, I really enjoyed having you here. I think we need to get you back more often.
I would love to be. As long as I have more than half an hour to prepare any list, I'm back.
Look, here's the thing, Mark. No matter what you prepare, I'm going to be happy with it.
Thank you. I want to give you a hug.
Well, we'll do that if you ever use me on your shows ever again, Mark. We're out of time. Thanks so much for being here, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Enjoy the rest of Halloween.
That is Mark Pollesel. He's a humble guy. I've never seen this guy say one nice thing about himself, but I'm willing to say that he is a Halloween expert. Folks, before we move on, just a reminder, no show this upcoming Wednesday because I will be performing in front of a real audience. Hold on now. Not to say you're not a real audience. I mean a real life audience that we're able to hear the laughs and the noise and the energy. It's taking place at 7 and 8:30 p.m. at the Diving Bell Social Club. We can't wait to see you there. So if you're going to be here to watch this, why don't you go there to watch that? Let's welcome our next guest. Much like Mark is a Halloween expert, our next guest, Halloween party expert. Please welcome to the show, Saima Ahmed. Saima, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you, James?
I'm doing very, very well. How about that? Pretty spooky entrance music for you.
Oh, you have to say spooky the way you said it earlier.
Oh, right. Excuse me. How about this entrance music? Pretty spooky.
Now it's spooky.
Now, this is the theme song to Goosebumps.
Yes, this is my special request for Dimitri. So he listens to my request. Not yours.
Yeah, he does not. He absolutely does not listen to mine. Now, Saima, can I ask you, were you a YTV kid growing up?
Of course I was.
Now, do you remember on Halloween night, the night of specials, Dark Night?
Oh, because I was always trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I think, but it would air all night long. So it'd be like Goosebumps. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Freaky Stories, Video and Arcade Top 10.
there always had to be Video Arcade Top 10.
Yeah, well, was it Tarzan Dan on Video and Arcade Top 10? He was one of the spookiest personalities on YTV.
The spookiest? Yeah, actually, I used to watch all of those shows with great pleasure as a child. Maybe not Video Arcade Top 10.
Yeah, no, that was Video and Arcade Top 10 was almost the precursor to Twitch, where you were watching nerds play video games, but they were little kids.
Actually, you're completely right about this.
Yeah. Now, I am getting corrected in the chat. I knew that it was not Tarzan Dan was the music guy. It was Nicholas Pickles. I wonder where that guy's up to right now.
You should get him on the show.
Well, I don't know if that's for the best. Saima, let's get into it. Almost a year ago, you came on this show and we talked about what makes and breaks the best Halloween party. And we, I think, really found one of the most iconic moments in show history when I claimed that every Halloween party has a casual sex room.
And you know what? I'm thinking about what we're talking about tonight, and I guess how this year Halloween parties are going to be different than last year's or previous years. And I know, knowing you and I guess our friendship, I've coined the term Hot Vax Halloween.
Okay, now I'm glad you brought this up because I remember, and I was one of the first people to really denounce the idea of hot vax summer because I said, everyone's working on the American vaccine rollout metric, which is you get 1, 2 or 3 weeks later, you get 2. Here, at first, we were waiting 3 months until it got kind of minimized. There was never going to be a hot vax summer here. I think that there was more of an argument, and I believe I said it on this show to Dimitri Kyres when he was trying to get me to have casual sex, is that I believe there would be a hot vax autumn. Now, you're saying there's a hot vax Halloween.
Well, I think Hot Vax Halloween goes with your Hot Vax Autumn. And I'm not gonna, like last time, I'm not gonna like deny the fact that adults Halloween parties, there might be some casual sex or there might be some hookups happening.
Yeah, some Halloween hookups.
Halloween hookups. It does happen. And so I feel like Hot Vax Halloween is just part of Hot Vax Fall.
So you're here right now. You're breaking the news that you believe there will be a hot vax Halloween this weekend.
I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Now I'll tell you what, I have not been invited to any Halloween parties, but I would make it my mission if I were at a Halloween party to get in the way of any casual sex.
You really want to be that guy?
I want to say, guys, I think we better play this safe. If you're here with your special person, you guys, you make as much love as you want. But if you don't know each other, guys, I think you better wear your masks and maybe go and hold hands for a little bit first.
But James, this could be the start of something great for those two strangers.
No, you're right. Who am I to stand in the way of Halloween love?
And you know what? Then Halloween could be their anniversary.
You know what? That's a good point. You've turned me in a matter of moments. Now, can I ask you, Saima, what are you doing this Halloween weekend?
I'm going to a cottage with my friends.
Which could be very spooky.
Yes, we're going to be doing I believe we're going to be playing a murder mystery thing where we each have characters and one of us has killed someone, I believe.
Now here's the question. Do you think any of your friends are going to hook up with each other?
Well, I think I'm like one of the only people who is not in a relationship bringing a significant other to this cottage.
Okay, so let me examine this a little bit. How many couples are going to be there?
Okay, let me quickly do this.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4.
Okay, so hold on. 4 couples.
3 or 4, I can't figure. Yeah, 4, actually 4.
Okay, so you might be a 9th wheel?
Well, no, there's another friend of mine. Her and I decided to do a couple costume together to make both of ourselves feel less outcast from this couple party.
Now, would you have felt like an outcast in that moment?
No, because they're all my friends and they never make me feel like a 9th wheel. But no, it's not. It's I hope I wouldn't. Okay,
so this is a chalet weekend where you're going to play board games. That's a fun way to celebrate Halloween. Now, you mentioned it might be a hot vax Halloween. I think it's fair to say that people will be gathering to enjoy Halloween, whether at a bar where they can get lubricated with alcohol, or they can go. Have you never heard that term?
No, I don't like that term.
I don't think I like it, but I liked saying it.
Says all I needed to know about you, James.
Well, now I'm worried. So people are going to gather at bars or homes or apartments. How do you think that parties are going to differ this year than last year? Because certainly people were having illegal parties, or they were on Zoom playing little Jackbox games. Do you think that people are really going to, quote, turn it up this Halloween weekend?
I love that you said, quote, turn it up. Yes, I believe people will. Like, so last year with the same group of friends that I'm going to the cottage, which we had a Zoom Halloween, which was like pretty sad to just be in a costume and looking at all your friends in their costumes. And
sure.
So yeah, I do believe people are going to, as you say, turn it up, as the kids say. And I believe people probably consume heavy amounts of alcohol, maybe other things as well.
Yeah, so some recreational fun, we'll call it.
Yes, some adult recreational fun will take place.
The people that'll be putting cinnamon inside their jack-o'-lanterns will also be putting white powder inside their nose. Now, would you say that Halloween party the cokiest parties of the year?
Say this again.
The cokiest parties of the year. We're not going to count Grand Prix weekend.
I think you just said that to bait me.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm pretty sure my chalet will be Coke free.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
But I also know, I'm pretty sure that people who are into Coke would just do Coke at any party, not necessarily a Halloween party or not. So I won't say it'll be the cokiest party of the year.
Okay. Now, I want you to help me paint a picture for me, Saima, because I think, is it fair to say you like to have a nice party, right?
Yes, thank you, James. Yes, I do.
I'm not much of a party animal. Can you tell me what you think Halloween parties in 2021 are going to look like?
Okay, so I thought of this, and obviously the most important part of a Halloween party is costumes. And every year there's always like the trendy costume or like the popular costume that everyone goes for. I was trying to figure out what that would be. And I'm pretty sure this year's trendy or hot costume will be Squid Games related. It's like the trendy show everyone's seen. The costume, one of the costumes is relatively easy. It's like a red jumpsuit.
Okay.
So it's pretty easy to find on like Amazon or something.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a whole bunch of Squid Game related costumes.
Yeah. Okay. I have yet to see this program. Out of the loop. So if I saw a bunch of people in red jumpsuits, I'm thinking, oh no, there's going to be some type of revolution in Montreal. There's going to be some type of insurgents or siege.
Stay calm, James. It's just Halloween.
Okay. It's just the Squid Games. Okay.
Yes.
Are there any other costumes that you think are in the zeitgeist right now that people are going to jump on?
I feel like that would be the most popular one. And then there's like the other themes of Halloween costumes. So there's like the sexy costumes. Then there's like the funny costumes, which are like inflatable things or stuff like that.
Do you think there's the possibility that someone go like as inflatable coronavirus, and then there's a sexy frontline worker?
I believe so. So it's funny. I went to a Halloween store with my sister, and there was a nurse costume, and then she was like, "Oh, someone can just be like the sexy nurse giving the shots to everyone at a party."
And you know what? There seems to be this fad with the grown men. These costumes where there's some type of inflatable or some type of double entendre for a penis. I think there might be that with the vaccination, with some type of substance at the end of it.
I believe you're right.
Just a classless costume.
Very classless costume.
Yeah.
Other costumes which are quite popular are like something that's like a scary costume. Like I recently, speaking of Halloween movies, I recently watched Scary movie? Scream.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if it's still popular, but I feel like it needs to make a comeback. The Scream mask. I
Yeah.
think that's a classic costume.
Yeah, the ghost face mask. Well, it
Yeah.
might come back because there's a new one coming out in January, which is
Yeah.
just there's no better time for a scary movie than January.
Whose idea was this?
I guess it was the Scream people.
Yeah, but like, why would they release it in January? So yeah, I think the
Yeah.
Scream masks will be popular again because I also know there's I had heard there's a Scream movie coming out, so that
Yeah.
will be a popular costume.
Yep.
I think those are like the cultural zeitgeist costumes at the
Yep.
moment.
Okay, so costumes certainly a to-do. What else do you expect for Halloween parties in 2021?
So I feel like the rest are just be pretty standard. Always make sure if you're hosting a party or if you're going to a party, bring some candy or chocolate,
Okay.
or have some candy or chocolate. I think that's fun to have at a party. And it doesn't have to be adult-sized candy bars like Mark gives, but they can
Yeah.
just be like
Right.
mini ones.
It's a little excessive, isn't it?
Okay,
$120?
as a side note, I think you, Dimitri, and I should just drive up to Mark's house on Halloween in costumes and trick or treat.
Yeah,
and
we
see
know
if
that
he
he's
gives
going to
us
give it to
candy.
us. Yeah, he's liberal in giving out grown-ups candy.
And what's his rule on like if people come back?
Now that's a great question. Now Mark is probably going to get in touch with us by way of our production chat. Are people allowed? Now that's a Halloween faux pas, right? Going back to a house, and I've done it. I've brought different masks to really try to scam the system. So we're going to find out how he feels about returning trick-or-treaters. I almost feel like he wouldn't like it because it's basically, well, I think you're kind of stopping other little kids from getting candy first. I can't believe he hasn't answered us. This sounds like you really broke his brain on this one.
Maybe it's never happened to him.
So here we go. He's gotten in touch with us. He says, I will generally allow it for one revisit. It usually happens later in the night. So he's okay with it.
Oh, see?
And coming in from the chat, apparently Mark is okay with this quote, especially if they're 37.
So James, you can go change your mask and go back.
Okay, well, I got to tell you, I haven't trick-or-treated in over 20-something years, and maybe it's time for me to get back on the wagon at 34. I really need a crunch bar.
You don't have any parties to go to. You might as well go trick-or-treating.
I have no parties to go to, but Saima, get a load of this. This coming Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the second annual at-home Halloween spooktacular with our pumpkin carving extravaganza.
So you're pretty much hosting a Halloween party.
I'm hosting a Halloween party, and you know what? Maybe I go crazy. Maybe when the show's done 10 p.m., I put on a fun, ironic costume. I head up to Crescent Street and I turn it up.
Wow, I would actually pay money to see this happen.
Yeah, could you? We'll do an on location. James celebrates Halloween on Crescent Street. Is irritated by 10:30.
Oh, you would like be out? Like I think you do 5 minutes and go back home.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm willing to pledge right now that over the next 3 to 5 years, I will go to one in-person Halloween party. Where is it? I don't know. Who is it with? I don't know. But I'm making the pledge right now.
Would you wear a costume?
I would wear a costume. Yeah, I think I would wear a costume.
Oh, okay. We got to make this happen.
Now, what is the costume? I don't know either.
So the lazy costume for you is being a wrestler.
Yeah, if I just wore my wrestling attire that stinks, smells horrible. I got Dimitri telling me I dress like a hot dog. Right? This guy has got zero respect for me tonight. Now, Saima, how about this? As we begin to wind down, if you were to dress me, what would you do? Thomas Barnwell is saying I should dress up as the Tiger King, Joe Exotic. We certainly have a similar frame. That's true. And we both have a penchant for wild animals.
You know what would be very fitting of you, James?
Mm-hmm.
You could be a Coca-Cola bottle.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I think that would be, as long as it doesn't have sexual implications.
Oh, I was going to joke about it, but no, we'll just keep it a simple Coca-Cola bottle.
Yeah, a Coca-Cola bottle. Yeah. Now, Saima, are you going to be dressing up for this party? You talked about having a tandem costume. What's it going to be?
I have unfortunately chosen what we'll call this the sexy route for Halloween.
Okay.
And I will be a cheerleader.
Okay.
And my friend will be a football player.
Okay, so
Spooky.
right. The clouds have parted and the lightning is striking because of you. I think maybe you mentioned the sexy route. Well, look, here's the thing. It's only as sexy as you make it, right?
I'll send you pictures. You can show pictures on the show if you want. No, actually don't.
That feels like a weird segment. We're gonna on Monday. That's gonna be the big thing, folks.
No,
Folks,
but I meant like.
You thought Halloween was over? Well, let me tell you something. This Monday night, we show off Saima Ahmed's sexy Halloween costume. Do you like cheerleaders? Because she'll be dressed up as one. Disregard the person dressed as a football player. That's not what we're here for. But let me tell you something. When you see this costume, you're going to be saying, touchdown!
That you can have a segment in which people who watch your show can submit their Halloween costume.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not just we're going to take a look at Saima's cheerleader outfit.
We're just going to raise that I ever said this, and you can have a segment on your show where people send in their costumes is what I was trying to go for.
As we were talking about that, if we've got any perverts who watch this show right now, it's like I can hear the drool coming down their mouth. Saima, you just laid the first ever at-home verbal thirst trap.
I can't stop laughing.
Look, Saima, that's why you're here. Every time you come on, we have a laugh.
We do.
We have a laugh. So look, Saima, as we begin to wind down, I want to wish you a happy Halloween weekend. I hope it's fun. I hope that nothing scary happens at the cabin. Any final thoughts before we say goodnight?
Happy Halloween, James. I hope you have a nice Halloween, a fun pumpkin carving episode. And I really, really want Mark to send photos of his chocolate bars. That's another photo I want to see, is like all of his chocolate bars before and after.
Now we can do that. There's nothing sexy about Mark and his giant collection of chocolate bars. Saima, thanks so much for being here, and happy Halloween.
Thanks for having me. Happy Halloween.
That is Saima Ahmed, and we are about to wind this baby down. But before we do that, as mentioned, this coming Friday, it is the at-home Halloween spooktacular featuring the pumpkin carving contest. Who is competing? Connor Rose, and I don't know what that pumpkin is going to look like. Taylor McMillan, and making his return to try to rise from the ashes of last year's defeat, it's Joe Conto. In addition to this, we've got judges. Dave Kaufman is one of our judges. Jess Files is one of our judges. So much more this Friday, 9 p.m. right here at Home with James. Let us move on to our final guest of the night. He's been just putting me through the ringer all night long. It's Dimitri Kyres. Dimitri, you're coming to us in 3D, apparently. How's it going?
Whoa, I can almost touch you, James. Be careful.
Well, it looks like you're planting more thirst traps. Dimitri, welcome back to the show.
I'm happy to be here, James, and I'm very happy to be presenting something very special for you today, you know? I love the holiday season, and one of my favorite seasons is Halloween, as you know from last week.
Of course. Now, I have come to understand that you have unearthed a series of lesser-known Halloween films. I knew that you were a film buff, but I didn't know that you were a Halloween and scary film buff. So this is quite exciting for not only me, who enjoys a scary movie from time to time. Mark loves a scary movie. I'm sure the audience is looking for spooky films this weekend.
I love a scary movie. I think the genre is not dead. I think it's coming back in a frenzy as a slasher, if I can use that term. We use it often in the business, in the industry. I think it's coming back strong, and I love horror films from the greats. One of my favorites is Alien. Can you imagine being trapped on a derelict spaceship with a creature hunting you down with saliva that burns steel, space steel? That's a scary movie.
I've yet to see Alien.
I would recommend it. It's actually very good. It's very spooky and really gross. Anyway, I recommend it. But yeah, what I brought with me anyway today is some old films that you might not think of. Sure, they aren't Chucky or Scream or I Know What You Did Last Summer. These are some true underground freak show horrors that'll truly tingle the spine and leave your skin crawling like you got termites under there.
Okay, well, look, I like this. You're getting me very excited. I'm wondering if I'm going to know anything in here because I've seen my fair share of obscure films, so this is very, very exciting.
I'm very excited for you, my friend. Some would even call it a total horror show. Okay, this movie's
like how that sound clip just sort of really cuts off at the end there.
Yeah, it really just dies off right away. Sorry, I wanted to put something a little bit more spooky on here. Okay, yeah, so I've sent you the synopses for these horror films.
All right, well, I'm looking in our production chat right now.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to put up on the screen the poster that was released for those films to really give you a sense of what the film is.
You've got the artwork, too. This is, yes. Dimitri, I have to commend you. This is very, very good.
I am in the horror archives. I am inside the horror archives. They let me in here. I can't believe it. I just had to answer a riddles 3 and give a small drop of blood, but they let me inside. Boy, this place is endless. You remember Raiders of the Lost Ark? Remember the ending of that?
Well, no, I haven't seen it.
My God. Okay, well, anyway, it's a big room, James. And anyway, I got lots of resources at my disposal.
Okay.
Ancient and very exclusive. Okay. So anyway, I really want to hit you with the perfect movie. I want to find you the perfect movie for this Halloween season. So I hope we find it with this list. So go ahead and you can read me the very first one, and I'll put the poster on the screen right now.
Okay. Well, this first film looks like it's this looks like a foreign film.
Ooh, yes.
This is called La Maldición del Hombre Lobo.
Yeah.
This kind of strikes me as some type of Wolfman style movie. Let's look at the synopsis here. Tremble in disgust as you witness a perversion of love most foul. La Maldición del Hombre Lobo. Pascal de Leon, a simple man on a late night stroll. Where is he going? To propose to his sweetheart, but he will never arrive. Why? He is bitten by a dog. La Maldición del Hombre Lobo. This man will become large and thick. What? Hairy and feared. He becomes the dog man, but his heart still aches for the woman he loves. But will society let him love? La Maldición del Hombre Lobo. Deep down, this animal wishes to propose to his wife, but the townspeople have another proposition. Death by fire. Witness a love that cannot be. Sexual desire that will never be realized. La Maldición del Hombre Lobo. Whoa! This one kind of reads more a bit like an adult feature.
And at first perhaps, but really it's a tale of unrequited love. Of man, beast, one species to another species. Can love exist between different species? And is a species? What is a species? So it's a lot of romance between species. Is really
also in here in the end it says sexual desire that will never be realized. It sounds like there's a spoiler in the synopsis.
Well, there's more to it, so you might want to check this one out. But yes, and also no, and so many twists and turns. And I can't say how much I love this movie enough. It's a great, it's the horror version of Romeo and Juliet. If Romeo was a throbbing, hairy wolfman.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to call him a throbbing, hairy wolfman. Let's move on to the next film, Dimitri. So
yes. Ooh, you might like this one.
That was La Maldición del Hombre Lobo.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to our, oh God. Well, this film is called Dangerous Love, and once again, looks like it has a bit of a pornographic twist. The synopsis reads, imagine it. You can get everything you want online, but when does having it all become a living horror? Ben Philander, a heartbroken high school senior virgin, logs on to find love, but in the process finds the woman of his dreams. So he thought. Ben's robotic fling starts out as a dream come true, but soon becomes a walking nightmare. This lustful pile of digits has only one thing on its mind: pleasure, and also to have Ben all to itself, even if that means killing everyone else in Ben's life. Robo love feels real, but is it? How much are you willing to pay to get off? They say online love is innocent, but it might just be dangerous love. Apparently, this film stars Elliot Gould as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, star-studded. Whoa. This is one of those movies that was like, this came out in 1980. What? This feels so modern in our digital age. This is a real take on, wow, they really were ahead of their time when they made this one. Love, can it exist online? I know that you partake, so this might be interesting to you.
What do you mean you know that I partake?
Well, you know that, listen, don't get into it now, that you're a man of wealth and taste is all I'm trying to say. So, anyway, online, digital, love, horror, lots of really fun things at work here. I recommend.
Okay, that was Dangerous Love. We're going to move on to our next film. This one's called Blood and Lace. What a cover for this movie as well. And the synopsis reads... It reads, famed fetish play event planner and legendary ass conductor Axel Hunter returns with another spine-tingling tale of woes and moans. The hammering harlots, an all-girl cult rock troupe, rides into a small town looking for danger and a great time. What's their version of a great time, you ask? Simple. Booze, drugs, ass, and spilling a whole lot of blood. One thing they didn't count on, Bruce Bandak, ex-CIA operative and sex icon, now turned recluse mechanic. Will he be able to resist the sexual allure of these badass babes, or will they be able to resist him? Blood, sex, ass, danger, heavy metal, fetish play. Axel Hunter's flick will make your blood boil and your pants tight. Welcome to pleasure. You will be satisfied and will return to the theater begging for more. Blood and Lace.
Whoa, Axel Hunter.
This is not the first time that Axel Hunter has appeared in one of your suggestions. Most recently, last week.
Yeah.
We were talking about one of his live events.
Axel Hunter is presenting this weekend, if on the 31st, if I'm not mistaken, or the 29th. I have to double check.
Yeah, it's on the Lachine Canal.
It's on the Lachine Canal in a warehouse. He'd love me if I brought it up again on the show. Axel Hunter presents Sinister Sex. The theme is Spider-Man. Axel Hunter is a legendary party thrower, ass conductor, and fetish play event planner.
Now, can you please help me understand what an ass conductor is?
Oh, you've obviously never been to one of Axel's parties.
No, I haven't. It was a surprise. What a spoiler. I've never been to one of Axel Hunter's ass conductor parties.
It's getting bad out there. Listen, this film is a classic Axel Hunter joint. It's got everything. Badass babes, fetish, ass, lots of blood, explosions, metal, rhinestones, tire fires. Everything that you'd expect from an Axel Hunter flick, this has got it, and more. I highly recommend for an action-packed,
tell you what,
horror-filled Halloween.
Mark, who was on the show at the top of tonight's program, he's a horror movie enthusiast, and he has been taking diligent notes throughout this segment.
I've noticed that he's been had his head down the whole time, just kind of scribbling something. Well, good for him. These are all, again, from the Disney vaults, but it's not Disney. It's something more horrific and perverse than Disney.
Well, let's move on to the next film here. Now, this one,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is a real treat. This is called Raw Meat. Synopsis reads, named one of the most depraved movies of all time. What started as a simple act of pleasure slowly turns the world into a sick rat king of horror. I don't even know how to pronounce this word. Dionysus, god of sex, has returned to Earth to seek revenge. A slow-growing orgy expands by the second, slowly engulfing the Earth in pleasure. Will they be able to resist pure, unbridled passion? Or will they be able to outrun the mob of deranged sex freaks? Will they be able to stop the massive, convulsing pile of ellipses, raw meat?
Oh, this is a true freak show of a film.
This one sounds like another porno.
This one?
Yes.
You have to look beyond, look beyond the nudity of this film, and beyond the fact that it's a 50-foot pile of people in a ball of orgy.
Yeah.
It's a really, really artistic take on a 1973 classic at the peak. Honestly, it's the peak of its class, at the top of its class, of body horror, gore, and so much more. So I highly recommend this flick for the Halloween season, and it's hot.
Well, I'll tell you what. Thank God for that. All of the horror movie enthusiasts watching right now, they're also taking diligent notes. We're going to move on to our final flick.
This one, you might like this one. You might like this one.
This one's called Ultra Warrior. The year is 2369, and the world has since been overtaken and overrun by betas. They have turned the planet Earth into a soft, weak version of its former robust self. Only one throbbing alpha Chad, Max Maddock, has to take matters into his own hands and reclaim his planet from the clutches of these virgin freaks. Action, sex, studs, pure entertainment. Get ready for what people are calling more porno than film. Buckle up for a non-stop horror-filled thrill ride that will leave you wanting more and more and more. Ultra Warrior. I like that in the synopsis it reads, get ready for what people are calling more porno than film. So in the synopsis, they've determined what people are calling the film.
Yeah, they've incorporated the reviews into the synopsis. Because it's important. This is a film about films. It's a classic Hollywood take on the horror genre. Cabin in the Woods was the horror. This was its precursor. This was taking us 30,000 feet out of horror and looking down upon it. And it really is that. It's a really fun movie. And I feel like you'd really like this one.
Yeah, why do you think I'd really like this specific one?
Well, because you're beta.
Well, Dimitri, I want to thank you for stopping by with all of these truly horrific horror flicks. So if you're out there watching and you're interested, just a real plethora of titles to add to your library, whether it's Dangerous Love, Raw Meat, Ultra Warrior, Blood and Lace, or of course, La Maldición del Hombre Lobo. Dimitri, you were supposed to be here this upcoming Friday. You're going to be spending the weekend as well in a cabin in the woods. So I hope that for you, it's a happy Halloween and not spooky.
I hope so too, James. I hope so too. And I hope that I was able to help you. I hope I was able to help you and others enjoy their holiday Halloween season a little bit more. And again, really lean into it, James. Have fun, enter the darkness, and really explore that scary side of you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like what you're doing with your fingers there, but I like the work that you did tonight, Dimitri. So I want to wish you a happy Halloween. I hope it's fun and safe.
You too, my friend. Happy Halloween to all you out there. Enjoy the season.
That is Dimitri Kyres. Once again, truly bringing Halloween to a more disturbing place than I thought was even imaginable. Coming in from the chat right now, it's Thomas Barnwell suggesting that I, quote, take up ass conducting. One of the favorite activities on Halloween, folks. that is our show tonight. Not only do I want to thank Dimitri, I have to thank Saima and Mark for being here tonight. We've got one last Halloween episode. It's this Friday. Once again, no show this coming Wednesday, but Friday is the pièce de résistance. It is the at-home Halloween spooktacular featuring the pumpkin carving extravaganza. Don't you dare miss it. Thanks for watching. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and of course, be well.